healed and saved. I also switched party members. Did bring Magus in instead of Arnold. Not only because we have the opportunity to show off the Mace of Zeus, which does teach Magus Doomsday, a legendary staff that once belonged to a grand magician at his status of Mini, which is always nice. I also wanted to bring Magus in because Magus does a lot of damage. What do you want me to say? Magus can be awesome. Let's take a look at Doomsday, though. Way down here. Causes shadow damage to all targets. Now, I don't think I'm going to get that 150 AP, but just having it equipped means that Magus can use it nonetheless. 72 MP to use it, though. It is rather expensive. Almost twice as expensive as Flare, so I have high hopes for Doomsday. Just doing shadow damage might not cover it, though. If you are insane and somehow get to this point in the game in less than 12 hours and you search this pillar here, I am told, because I've never done it myself, you can get Excalibur 2 out of this pillar, and it comes with a little piece of dialogue that we'll go over some other time. But Excalibur 2 is Arnold's best weapon, better than the Ragnarok, kind of by a mile. But as you might imagine, considering that I've kind of gotten everything to this point in the game, I don't have less than 12 hours of playtime. I have 68. Granted, some of that is me fast forwarding, frame skipping, and grinding, especially to get frogs to spawn. I think that's like 3 or 4 hours of the time right there. But this is a really difficult thing to do. It's even harder if you have the PAL version, the European version of the game, and it was thought to be impossible for a while, but somebody finally did it. It is possible, but for the time being, we're gonna get sucked into the door and out. Whoa, there's nothing. We're gonna move forward. Is this it? Is there nothing else? This is space. Space? Your journey is not over. Do not fear. Step forward and you will be closer to the truth. Go, Ronaldo. It's easy for you to say. Have faith, and we can just walk. Nothing shiny shows up, but we head into the final frontier. Getting to this point in the game, even though he walks, you still want to head up here. Getting to this point in the game in less than 12 hours is very, very difficult. You have entered a new realm. There are no more worlds. There is no more space. Follow your memory and your original memory and march forth. Garland, what exactly is our memory? Why can't I remember other people's experiences and events that have happened before my time? Garland, please tell me. Do not limit memory to just one individual's experiences from birth. That is only the surface. Every life born into this world, whether natural or artificial, requires a parent. And that parent also requires a parent. Life is connected one to another. If you trace the root of all life, there exists one source. The same can be said for memory. All life constitutes an intelligence that holds memory beyond experience. Memory is not isolated within individuals. It is an accumulation of generations of memories that continues to evolve. You can say that memory and evolution go hand in hand. But most life forms do not understand the true nature of memories, which explains why most memories never cross paths. So what am I going to find by tracing back our roots? A presence that presides over all life and memories. The crystal. Crystal. You are on your own now. Ronaldo, take care of Kuja. And protect the crystal. Farewell. Garland, wait! Garland! You've confused me more than answering my questions, Garland. Even if I were created to serve one purpose alone, I do not regret being born to this world. If you have emotions enough to know about regret, then seems like you had more than one purpose. Is this the crystal that Garland was talking about? It's time for us to find out the truth. And so, we can head forward. I probably should have pointed out, but the game kind of sucked me in forward. At this point, if you try to backtrack, I believe that you have to do the whole dungeon again. This is not the what game. There we go. What the hell, game? This is not the point of no return, but we're getting pretty close now. We are getting there. We took out the 4 chaoses, which I think they wanted to be called. We're getting there. I do believe, though, if you backtrack at this point, you have to go through the whole dungeon again to get back. I do want to actually re-equip Ronaldo here. I know it kind of goes against all seeming reason, but I'm going to equip him with the Sargatanis because the Added of Petrify are going to be very useful as we continue forward. And we will continue forward so that we can get random encounters. Now let's see what we are up against. Oh, we're up against Tiamat again. Even though it has the same HP as before, it doesn't have the same immunities. So, Soul Blade. And down goes Tiamat. And that's why we have the Sargatanis. 7 AP and no experience. Kinda good there. Kinda good. You will start encountering the chaoses around here. Unfortunately, I was not able to show off the Stilva that shows up in the previous parts of the dungeon. It doesn't show up at this point. It will show up in space when you're just kind of walking, but it won't show up here. There is still one enemy that can show up around here, and I'm kind of nervous about that one as well. But we need to continue forward through the crystals. And we will see if we can find another new enemy. Oh, it's the Kraken again. Once again, though, you deal with it with a Sargatanis and a Soul Blade. Just petrify it. Ooh. I think I unequipped Body Temp. Probably not good, but no, not on Stefan. Not on Stefan. But yeah, it's so satisfying at this point that I want to show it off, that you can just petrify these guys away. Oh, it's so satisfying after having to beat them as bosses that you don't have to do it again. You can just cheap your way to victory like that. Oh, it feels so nice to do it that way. So I will show off doing that at least to every chaos should I encounter them, but not twice. Let's continue forward through the giant crystal. As you might expect at this point in the game, there's not too many chests to look for. Ah, it's the Kraken again. Damn it, it just occurred to me that I forgot to look for Stefan's ultimate weapon. I'll have to put it in, I'll put a little text thing to let you guys know where it is, but I can't go back and get it. It's going to be way too much of a hassle for me to go back and get it at this point. I'll show it off in bonus videos, but I apologize that I wasn't able to get it. It is actually very useful. It's much more powerful than what I have them on now. Just continue forward for the time being, unfortunately, where I can find a save point, which I am going to use, and I'm actually going to take, I'm going to take Stefan out of the party. You know what? It bothered me way too much, so I teleported back to the entrance of Memoria, ran through the dungeon. This is left of where we fought Tiamat. I'm sure you do remember the giant eye there. Over to the left, you can find the Rune Claws, which is Stefan's ultimate weapon. Let's take a look at them. It was just bothering me way too much. It's not that big of an increase, but it is worth it to me. Just that 4 extra damage. While we're here, though, I do have Petra in the party. I just brought in my main physical attackers. We'll take a look at Kane's Lance. Spear from the distant past add status. Confuse. Does teach Dragon's Crest, Cherry Blossom, and White Draw. But it is not as good as Petra's ultimate weapon, the Dragon's Hair, which honestly isn't that much better, only 6 better. I will meet you back at that save point with a slightly more powerful party because I wanted to get these damn Rune Claws. Can't believe I missed him. And here is a new enemy that I've been looking for a while. This is a Stilva. It is something that you might want to be a little concerned about. It does have the tendency to stop a party member with a sting like that, but Stefan is immune to that now. He's got locomotion. Otherwise, that would have to be something that you have to deal with. It also deals venom, so hopefully you have antibody as well. Stefan does. We had to have it for the last fight. And it also has Red Clipper, which is not necessarily as damaging a move. It does more physical damage, but Stop and Venom, I would say, are much worse for options. This guy does tend to show up towards the second half of the dungeon, right around where the Kraken and Hades are. Right around there he starts showing up. But he's not too difficult to take out. I could always use a tent. I'll meet you once again at the save point, hopefully. Did make it back to the save point, thought about it some more, and I decided that at this point it's not really necessary for me to be learning anything more. So I brought in my personal favorite party. It's going to be Ronaldo, Magus, Mistral, and Stefan. I'm not saying this is the best party by any means. This is just my favorite. Back to the save point finally. Now, before I do move on, this is the last save point, and I need to start treating it as such. There is no point in me training anybody moving forward. Lexi still needs work. She needs a lot of work as it turns out, but I am not going to be bringing her forward just because she needs work. Instead, I have brought my personal favorite final party. Not by any means the best, but my favorite. We're going to be bringing Ronaldo, Magus, Mistral, and Stefan. I have them equipped properly. I have their abilities equipped properly. So let's move forward. This is not the point of no return, but this is the last save point. I will definitely mark out where the point of no return is. Let's head forward into the warp so that we can move forward again and find